I can't see anything down here. Could I get some light on this, please? Ah, much better. Hello, and welcome to Hard On Gaming, where the games are hard and so am I. I'm your host, Big Stiffy, and this is another Mod Spotlight. This Mod Spotlight's going to be a little bit different. It's going to be a multi-mod spotlight, because these few mods they've got so little content to them, despite being as useful as they are, that I don't really want to make multiple videos to go over all of them. I'd rather just do it all in one big video. So, these small mods are pretty interesting. Now, as you know, vanilla hoppers kinda suck. I've never really bothered much with them since they've been added. And as you know, if you want to transfer items from one chest to another, how do you really accomplish it? You have to have like a chain of hoppers, and hoppers aren't that really cheap. I mean, look at this. Well, of course I changed the recipe, so never mind. But it's like, it's still, I think, 5 iron for a hopper, or something like that. 5 iron in a chest, I think. But of course, to me, the recipe doesn't make sense, because a chest has a lot of inventory slots. A hopper only has 5, so why is it got less slots than a chest if you need a chest to make the hopper? It's kind of stupid. So anyway, transferring items from one chest to another is a bit of a hassle, and I don't really know how to do it properly or efficiently with vanilla hoppers. So one of these mods that I'm going to go over is called the Hopper Ducts mod. Now, I've seen a lot of people criticize this mod for being like not that great. I mean, there's so many other mods that do the same thing, but with more versatility or flexibility or whatever. But still, I think the Hopper Ducts is a pretty good mod, because it doesn't really add anything that's too life-changing to vanilla Minecraft. If anything, it's a feature that I would actually really be happy to see added to vanilla Minecraft. So let's go over it. As you know, with vanilla hoppers, you can't like place them facing up into an inventory and everything. So to transfer items from that chest to another, you would have had to have it as I just had it before I destroyed it. So anyway, one of the things you can do, now the Hopper Ducts mod actually does work with vanilla hoppers, so I could use these Hopper Ducts, chain it from the target inventory, and then use a vanilla hopper like so. And if I place an item in, say this chest here, it's going to go through each hopper duct as if it was a hopper. So they are not any less efficient than the vanilla hoppers. There you go. Got the chest in that inventory. So let's get rid of this. And if I want, I can actually move the inventory up. I don't know why I moved that. That was kind of stupid. And let's see. Can I do it? Yeah, voila. There we go. So now if I put a chest in here, it should end up here. How about that? Ain't that spiffy? Now, you might be wondering, well, what if I want to filter items out of the hopper ducts? How would I go about doing that? It's not like buildcraft pipes, or it's not like extra utility pipes, or it's not like the, what is it, the conduits from thermal expansion. Well, for that, you have the graded hopper. So if I go ahead and, I don't know why I keep destroying things before I'm done using them. So if I set up this chain of hopper ducts again, and I place down this graded hopper, I can open up the graded hoppers inventory, and as you can see, it has this little graphic of like iron bars. So if I take anything, let's give myself a bunch of chests. So if I put a chest in the hopper, in that filter slot, and put these in here, it's only going to allow chests to go through. So if I take these out and I put in a lever, it's not going to go through. because it's not in the filter slot for the graded hopper. And I think my audio might be a little bit too loud, so let's turn that down, shall we? So yeah, there you go. Hopper ducts are pretty simple, although very versatile. And of course, setting them up is a lot easier than vanilla hoppers. And now, of course, the recipe for these is not too cheap. For the sake of my mod pack, I've actually changed the recipes of these, which is not a built-in function of the Hopper Ducts mod, but is in fact a function of a different mod entirely. So, Hopper Ducts, I feel like the recipes for them are a little bit too expensive to really justify having to use them, rather than just having like a billion chests everywhere. Okay, so the next part of this mod is the Directional Torch mod. So, if one thing you've ever been doing, and you've probably done it quite often in Minecraft, is if you've ever gone spelunking in a cave, you may have gotten lost. Because as you know, caves in Minecraft are absolute bullshit. So, caves are so interwoven throughout the entirety of the underground world of Minecraft that more often than not, you'll probably get into one cave and be there forever. And you'll probably emerge from the cave having more materials than you could ever possibly hope for. So why don't I go find a cave real quick, and I'll see you then. And here we are. I have found myself a cave. Now, it is pretty easy to get lost when caves are so woven into each other. There's so much interconnectedness that it's a real goddamn pain in the ass to try and find your way out of these caves. So, how would you do it? I think most people have resorted to using torches, and they place torches along a certain wall. Like, they may only cover the left wall or the right wall, and that's a pretty interesting way to go about it. However, there might be a better way. Directional Torch mod actually aims to change this. When you create a directional torch, it looks just like what it says it is. It is a directional torch, and right-clicking on it changes which direction it points. Now, you can't see this because I have particles turned off thanks to a night vision potion. So, as you can see, you can set the directional torch to have all sorts of different things. It can point in different directions, up or down. You can have this block, so I guess it shows that you don't want to go that way. Or it has like an emerald block, and you can make whatever... You can say whatever you want that to be, or whatever. Now, the mod is very small. It only adds 2 directional torches, and the only difference is that they vary in color. They do emit light, which of course you can't see because I have night vision on. But I think this is something that is actually really handy, and I don't know that a lot of people actually know this mod exists. So if I wanted to find my way out of this cave, I would place a bunch of torches pointing in the direction that I want to go. And of course, it always points in the direction that you place it down. So maybe I fell through that hole. So I want it to point up. So I go up, and where do I go from here? Maybe I go in this direction. And oh, look at that. It's a dead end. So I want to go back. And of course, I'm not gonna torture you too much. So that's basically my demonstration of the Directional Torch mod. It's pretty cool. It's something that is handy, but doesn't really add a whole lot to the game. It's more like a vanilla enhancement, if you will. So I'll go back up to my demonstration platform, and I'll cover the next mod then. And I'm back. Now, this next mod is a pretty useful one. I have heard some rumors about the stability of this mod. I have not been able to reproduce the rumors of how unstable this mod is. So install this mod at your own discretion. This mod is called Greg's Lighting mod. I was gonna say Spotlight mod, but that's not the case. So Greg's Lighting mod is basically what it says it is. It adds different types of lighting. Now, if you're familiar with factorization, there was a lamp in that mod which lit up a huge area and went all the way down to bedrock. At least that's what I can remember of it. This mod adds a similar light to the Wrath lamp from factorization. So as you can see, I have nighttime enabled. Let's go over here and we can test out some of these light sources. So it's real dark and spooky in here, correct? We have two different lights. We have a floodlight and a carbide floodlight. Both of these will emit the same amount of light, to my knowledge. Let's hook one up. Now, you can actually decide to enable or disable either one of these two light sources. So there we go. Now that lights up the whole area. Now one thing that I have heard of this is that there's some kind of like light beam or intangible light block that this lighting method produces, in which if things obstruct its path, it does weird things, or something like that. So again, install at your own discretion. The other light block here, the carbide floodlight, is basically the same thing. So I'll break that torch, I'll break that. Now, there is a key difference to the carbide floodlight, in that it takes two types of items to fuel it. So we need a water bucket and we need calcium carbide. And of course, it also uses like this glowing alloy ingot, which the recipe I have changed for the sake of my mod pack. But again, is not an integrated feature of Greg's Lighting, just so you know. So if I get myself a water bucket, there we go. I can place the bucket in, and it's full. So you only need one bucket to fill it, which is pretty nice. Put the calcium carbide in, and apply a redstone signal. And there you go. You have the same amount of light that you would get from the other lamp. So you can actually disable in the config if you want the normal floodlight to be available or not. The carbide floodlight actually does use a little bit more microcrafting, as people call it. So it's a little bit more expensive than the normal floodlight. So yeah, a little bit different, a little more expensive. So there you go. Now this will use up both the water and the calcium carbide. And the calcium carbide is actually made from bone meal charcoal mixture, which is exactly what it says it is. It's a mixture of bone meal and charcoal. So there you go. Those are those two mods, or three mods I should say. They're all pretty interesting. They all have their own merits, and I think all of them are pretty great to have. Unfortunately, they add so little to the game that most people would probably overlook it and use alternative mods that add a lot more. But I think simple mods like this are actually pretty great. And that's why I've gone through the hassle of installing them in my mod pack. I think they're pretty great. And the mod makers who made them, they're pretty great too. Oh, and another thing, Greg's Lighting mod actually does have industrial craft integration. So you can actually create a floodlight which can be powered by the Industrial Craft 2 power source, universal electricity, or something like that. or is it EU? I think it's EU that Industrial Craft uses. So let's take a look. There we go. So the other floodlight actually does use a little bit more microcrafting. You have to create an IC2 filament assembly, an IC2 floodlight bulb, and a gaslight mantle. So it's a little bit more tedious and expensive. But there you go. Those are those 3 mods: the Greg's Lighting mod, the Hopper Duct mod, and the Directional Torch mod. And so you know, the Directional Torch mod is a Japanese-made mod. I'm not able to decipher the information on the page for it, but I will give you the link in the description below. So there you go. That's all for this video. Take care, Internet, and join me next time for another mod spotlight. And until then, I will see you in space.
I bet you were expecting some sort of fancy outro. Nope. Just this. But hey, you know what would be cool? Clicking one of those links below? Yeah, that'd make it cool.